There's a lot going on around the world that will affect Bitcoin. I'm going to get into that, but first please like, subscribe, and check us down below for our CT Club where you get our trade alerts, portfolio, and you get to see what we are doing in this bear market. Some of the coins that we've been investing in doesn't seem like a bear market at all. Okay, check this out. So Dan Hell had a really good tweet. He said, "Nothing to worry about, folks." And he showed this graph of the Fed balance sheet compared to GDP, okay? So he went over this. World War I, we had a Fed balance sheet to GDP of about 4%. Then you have the Great Depression, which was about 5% of GDP, okay? Then you had World War II, which was around 12% GDP. Then you had the global financial crisis, which was around 15 to 16% of GDP compared to the Fed balance sheet, okay? And then you had the government shutdown back in 2020, which made the Fed balance sheet reach 42% of GDP. So have you seen what's happening here? They're not decreasing, they're not really decreasing the balance sheet very much. And if they do, they quickly add on to it, okay? And keep in mind that the Federal Reserve has two different balance sheets. One that they show everybody and one they don't show everybody. And we all know that that is true. If you don't know that's true, look at the book called The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffith. It's a really good book, shows how secretive this company is. Okay, so we all know what's happening around Europe as well. So European gas prices are skyrocketing. Why is that? Because Russia and I think Europe gets about 40% of its natural gas from Russia. And so now they're getting hit hard because of the sanctions, okay? And so Dan Leclerc, which is a really good guy on Twitter, says increasing political upheaval and social unrest is coming to the EU. Households and businesses will demand assistance from sovereigns, okay? So, and he also says any aid provided will eventually require massive debt monetization from the ECB to contain the spreads and ease conditions, leading to more debasement. And I told you right when the energy crisis hit that the ECB would go ahead and print more currency. And what did we see today? Germany agrees to spend $65 billion on inflation relief package. You can't make this stuff up. This is going to happen everywhere. So anywhere that's being really hit is going to get relief packages. And this is just one excuse for the ECB, central banks, to print more and more currency. That's the end game. They want to make sure everybody is reliant on central banks. That's the whole point of the central bank, okay? Now, 60% of British factory companies are at risk of bankruptcy. Can you imagine how much currency is going to have to be printed to save these companies? Trust me, they're going to come in and save them. They're going to save the day. And not only that, but they're going to save people from freezing to death during the winter time. They're going to give more relief packages as well. So you're going to see more pounds being printed. This is a never-ending story. Let's go over to Turkey right now. Turkey raises their year-end inflation estimate to 65% from 9.8% previously. It goes on to say actual inflation is over 100%, but you know the CPI data is government inflation data, which is only 8.5%. Reality inflation in the US is probably 20 to 25% at least. And now, you know, you're seeing Turkey coming out with 65% inflation potentially. That's crazy. This is going to happen around the world. So what does this all mean? Okay, so people are trying to figure out, should I buy Bitcoin right now or should I wait till it drops more? Well, first off, today, the US dollar just hit a 20-year high against the euro. The euro is now, it takes €1.01 to reach $1 now, which is crazy, okay? And keep in mind, these are two currencies that have been inflating away at the same time. So just because the euro is weaker than the dollar doesn't mean the dollar is any stronger, okay? They're falling like a knife Both of them are falling like a knife, and there's nothing governments are going to be able to do with that, okay? But people are worried about this because they're wondering, hey, is there going to be another interest rate hike? Should I wait for the market to pull back if there's an interest rate hike? You know, that scares a lot of people, as it doesn't matter whether it's a 50 basis point hike or a 75 basis point hike. It doesn't matter. It's all putting lipstick on a pig. They're going to keep printing and printing currency. You know what they're doing. They did the $740 billion Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to double the IRS. They're putting 80 billion of that towards the IRS to double its size because they know that inflation is going to go out of control and it's going to hurt a lot of people. And that is why I am buying Bitcoin at this price. I don't care if it drops lower. I am buying Bitcoin at this price, and I will continue to buy if it goes down because that is the ultimate inflation hedge. If you want proof of that, look 10 years out and you will see a graph like this from under a cent to $69,000 to where it's at right now. It's pretty good. So that is all I have to say. Please like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon.